This is Q, and my new series, Strange Cameras, where I attempt to live with the weirdest photo and video capturing devices.
Such an interesting lens.
This is a camera that looks like it could have been designed by someone at Apple. But the footage that comes out of it, well... I'm Becca, I take tech outside, and I've been shooting with this camera for over a week now, documenting an absolutely dreamy summer split between the concrete jungle and a tiny slice of woods I call paradise 3 hours north. And for the last week, I've been trying to figure out if this camera is e-waste or e-want. Many months ago, I had a drink with this guy. That's Yusuke. He's one of the founders of Q, and he let me take a prototype home, and I let it collect dust. I am very lucky to just be sent cameras. They come in small boxes and big boxes, and these days they all have like maybe 1 or 2, if you're lucky, features that actually make them unique. This Nikon zooms far, like really far. This Lumix has open gate, and this Canon PowerShot has a super wide lens with a nice close focusing distance. But they all share one goal: create great looking photos and videos. In a camera economy that is filled with cameras that all have that goal, mixed with an internet that is filled with AI tools that also have that goal, the consumer, or us, becomes poor in being able to create something that feels truly unique or authentic. Hence the rise of bad footage.
Now that smartphones have been engineered to take perfect photos, Gen Z has other ideas.
From my YouTube algorithm, to articles I read online, to the hands of celebrities, I'm seeing cameras that are known to produce grainy, overexposed, imperfect images.
It's no longer cool to be in focus.
And now new companies are trying to cash in on this, creating cameras that not only create a vintage aesthetic, but also look vintage in their aesthetic. Hell, even established camera companies are getting in on it. Look at Fujifilm and the X-Half. That camera goes so far as to have a film camera mode that caps the amount of photos you could take and doesn't allow you to look back at them until the quote-unquote roll is shot. And the photos, they're fine. But then there's Q.
This is Q camera. It's not designed to capture everything. Just one button and 9 seconds of video. Q camera doesn't seek noise or excess. It's simple, intentional, and purposeful.
More on that in a moment. Now there is a piece of gear that I know will stand the test of time quite literally, and that's tripods. This is a new one from this video sponsor, Ulanzi. There's a link in my bio if you want to check it out. And wowie, can it hold some weight. But that's not even the best feature. Because of these quick locking legs that only require 1/3 of a turn, you can set this bad boy up in seconds.
And they're on. Moving on the turn. They're at the head of the stretch. They're into the turn and bunching for the lead and moving at the leaders as they come for the head of the stretch.
Done. Look how tall it gets.
Okay, now I'm done.
Plus, it's made out of carbon fiber and aluminum alloy, so it's light as hell. I've been using it for a few months now on hikes, at home, in the park. It's got a ball head for easy and quick adjustments, all-terrain foot pegs for any surface, a quick release trigger, and a removable stem that allows you to get very low. And I love this 1/4-20 screw on the side that allows me to put a magic arm in to hold my mics. You can check out the Ulanzi Felcom Tree Root Quick Lock Travel Tripod via the link in my bio. Thank you, Ulanzi, for sponsoring this video. Now back to the show.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
So Q, it's a video-only camera that records 9-second long clips. Q means 9 in Japanese. And it only allows its users to record up to 27 9-second clips a day. I never got there, and I'll tell you why in a bit. There are 2 cameras. There's an 8-megapixel front-facing one, and a 13-megapixel one in the rear. And the resolution, it's fixed at 1080p, 30 frames per second, in a square 1:1 ratio. The removable memory unit, as the company calls it, has 32 gigabytes of storage, which is plenty considering that each clip only consumes about 24 megabytes of that. There's a single round button on the front that both powers up the camera and initiates recording. It's got a nice feel to it, much like all of the hardware here. It's not too squishy, not too easy to accidentally press, and it's perfectly concave for my thumb. The 1.5-inch circular touchscreen is completely accessible by a single thumb as well, and it has only a few recognized gestures. You can zoom, turn on and off the flash, which is a glowing ring of light around the camera module around back. You can switch between cameras, sync your camera with the app, and turn off the camera. Although the camera will automatically shut down to a time that you choose in the app. I keep it at 2 seconds, so that after I take a video, I put it in my pocket and I know the camera's off. And the footage from this device is what most people would call these days trendy. It's shaky, the audio ain't great, and there's clearly no post-processing to balance colors or fight grain. During the day, you can watch as the camera attempts to find the middle ground for exposure with swift pops of under or overexposing. The sky goes from cyan to royal blue and sometimes pure white. And as soon as the sun sets, well, you get black.
Oh my god, you can't see anything.
You'll get something in a dimly lit bar, but it's a struggle. And the flash is fine if you're close to it, but the fall off is pretty immediate. One of the plus sides to using Q is that as opposed to older cameras, no matter what you're filming, the process is pretty damn easy. Q fires up quickly, reliably takes video, reliably saves video, and then shuts down again. And after filming, there's a companion app where once you plug in the memory module, all your footage is automatically uploaded. And clips are edited together to create highlight reels with funky music that I'm worried about copyright, so I'm not including. Oh, and battery life. It lasts days. I have never once had to worry about charging this thing. But the irony of Q is that because the device never has to be charged, because it is, non-intrusive and you don't really feel it in your pocket, because it looks so minimal, because the app is easy to use, the entire thing becomes incredibly forgettable. Every so often, I get the itch to dig out an old camera. And a few weeks ago, while having one of those feelings, that's when I found Q. I charged it up and I carried it everywhere for a bit. And although I am an avid documentarian of my life, taking endless photos and videos of dogs and bikes and cars and people, I've only shot 100 videos with Q. Because despite having it on me at all times, I kept forgetting it was there. Now, part of Q's branding is the fact that you have to be intentional. That this device doesn't take up any space in your life and you only get 27 9-second shots a day. But this is gonna sound weird to say, the company was too successful at making something minimal and non-intrusive. Now, sometimes I hate when people buy old cameras just to wear them as jewelry, but when you are wearing something, the chances of you actually using it, I hope, are higher, at least in my case they are. And so I think there are a few things that could make Q just a little bit more intrusive in a good way. First, it needs to have some sort of place that I can put a lanyard or a clip on it. They do sell this sort of funny sock thing for it, but that is a very particular aesthetic that is not my aesthetic. I also think it'd be great if I wasn't so limited by the 9 seconds, 27 clips a day thing. I never reached that, so it never felt like an obtainable goal, something I was working towards, and I often wish that I could just record for longer. I also think that would open it up to be used as a creative tool, not just like a memory saving tool. The last thing is the price. And this thing is $300, which is incredibly expensive. And yes, it is a unique product, but it's also a very limiting product.
Why would you use this over just a phone, though?
Right.
All right, so that's been my week with Q. It has been very strange, and it is a total eye-turner. Everyone who sees this is like, what the hell is that? Which is cool. I love weird techie conversations, and I love products that spark those conversations. And I do believe that there is something here. I love the vintage aesthetic look. I'm a sucker for it. And so if you give me a new device that can get that look, and yes, it is a separate device, I'm happy. But in its current state, Q is just far too minimal and therefore incredibly forgettable, despite how strange it is. I'm Becca. If you enjoyed this, let me know. It's maybe a new series. I don't know. I'm just trying something new. So let me know if you liked it. And if you know any other strange cameras that you want me to try and use for a week, send them my way. Anyway, I appreciate you, bud. And I'll see you in the next one.